This is my school, Cambridge South Dorchester High School, home of the Vikings since 1976, and also home of the Viking Way. It's the largest of the two high schools in the Dorchester County School District, with approximately 796 students in the ninth through 12th grades, all coming from the Cambridge and South Dorchester areas. 56% of the school's students receive free and reduced lunch. The school has approximately 50 teachers, with 4 guidance counselors, 4 administrators, and 1 media specialist. More than 20% of the faculty have less than 5 years teaching experience. The Media Center is located in the center of the school, but it isn't really its heart. It has a collection of 13,995 volumes, however, only 3% circulate monthly. To promote reading for pleasure, an up-to-date selection of fiction and contemporary nonfiction books are available, but the other sections have an average copyright date of 1973. While teachers sometimes bring their classes in, it's largely for computer-related activities. Some teachers admit to sending students to the internet for research and not to the library for books or the online databases. For many years, the library has been the heart of learning, not just in schools but for the community at large. However, the internet and new technologies have changed the environment. Unlike many organizations, the library was not behind the curve in adapting new technology. It was positioned, however, as a benevolent barrier to access. The now widespread availability of broadband, sophisticated search engines, and WYSIWYG browsers provide the means for users to circumvent the library, giving the perception that libraries, and by extension books, are unnecessary, outdated, and obsolete. Nothing could be further from the truth. Librarians are teachers, guides, protectors of free speech and information access, and the last line of defense against censorship. In schools, they are instrumental partners for accomplishing the goals of increased student achievement and excellence. So it's here where my action research begins. What can I do? What can I investigate? What can I research that would lead to improved student achievement through the library? I thought that the best place to start to get some information and some ideas was with the media specialist, Sandy Woolfolk. And here's what she had to say when we discussed the library.
I would be teaching more um, collaboratively with teachers. I would have coverage, maybe more student aides to cover the desk throughout the day so that the media was always supervised, even if it was just with a senior student, so that will allow me to teach more. I like a loud library, but sometimes it just can't be that. There's probably 200 requests a day from me, so kids would just never be able to do it. So a lot of the kids have time in between, they have 5 minutes in between classes, so they're running in, doing it real quick. Hey, can you help me print this paper real quick? Can I use your computer to print in color? Can we do this? There's no time in my day to fill out a little form. I really wanted it because to me it's funny in a day what I do to help kids here, sometimes crazy. I think libraries have changed, and one of the, well, I know for a fact they have, and an example of this also is that I'm thinking of changing the name of the Distance Learning Lab, which is no longer used for distance learning, and it kind of drives me crazy. I think I'm going to change it to a Think Lab for next year because, one, it doesn't make sense to call something a distance learning when there's not distance learning going in there. But I want it to be a space where kids can go in and groups of kids that are working collaboratively on projects can just have a quiet space to go think and plan. And I've already talked to Sam Slaken with the board about putting one of the walls in there, just making it a huge whiteboard, and having like a basket of markers so kids can just, draw out their plans on a big wall. Kids can lay in the floor in there and get some, I'd love to get some big like floor pillows where they can actually sit in the floor and use a laptop, so that they can get away from this notion that they have to be in a straight back chair sitting at a desk using a computer. Our kids today are not working in that environment, and if we're preparing kids for college, then truly I think we need to have little atmospheres and rooms where they can go in there and act like college students do and use technology in different ways and not have to be sitting in an old school chair using technology. So I kind of want it to be like a think lab where it can be used for anything and everything for kids to go in there. And then they can, when they're planning collaboratively in small groups, they can be loud. I mean, because when kids are working and there's more and more, I think with the Common Core, more group work going on, and when kids are working together, it's not going to be a quiet library. But if they're on task, you can tell and within seconds if that's good noise. You know, I think there's good, bad, and ugly noises. But good noise in a library are people working, teachers teaching, and kids learning. And sometimes it's noisy, but that kind of good noise is okay.
Ms. Woolfolk discussed taking library services to the Facebook platform where students are. Here's what she had to say.
Through the media center with kids in our school. And it's going to be closed. It's not going to be a wide open public thing where they can post whatever they feel like saying, but it's going to be an avenue for me to post information and things I feel like they're worthy of sharing with kids, and they can message us, and that helps them. So I would love to have like a help center where we would be available all day, 24/7. And I think Facebook is the way to go, and that's why I'm trying that, because these kids are on Facebook a lot. They pretty much keep it open on their phones or at home. And, I mean, I can do that, too, for them. So I figure it's an easy way for them to message me and say, hey, I'm working on something, or I'm at a bookstore looking for a good book to read. Can you make a recommendation? I'm anxious and curious to see how that goes.
I believe Ms. Woolfolk's idea is a winner and decided to look at that change in the Media Center's service for my action research project. What did I want to know? Well, my main questions related to affecting perceptions and can any extended hours of service improve student achievement. I searched for literature addressing the use of social media by libraries and for facilitating instruction. Taken out of context by Dana Boyd confirms Ms. Woolfolk's assertion that students are meeting on social media and that her choice of Facebook for the platform is correct. In the video Embedded Librarian Program, where Ann Kasabowski describes the Embedded Librarian Program at Cofferin Library, she points out that students in courses where the librarian is a full collaborative participant make use of that resource and the library more often. She posits this is because the librarian is there with them. They don't have to wait to ask their question or stop and locate the needed resource. There were an abundance of articles that offered insight on the topic and helped to clarify the issues. Perception, so improved image, extended service hours, and improved student achievement. Now I have a problem statement and 4 research questions. Question number 1. What would indicate that the Media Center resources and services are perceived as relevant? Number 2. How does an increase in positive perception affect the use of Media Center resources? Number 3. What impact does extending access through Facebook have on the perception of relevance? And number 4. What determines the effectiveness of the Facebook platform for extending access to Media Center resources? To determine if this program will have the desired effect, I will have to collect data from at least 3 sources to ensure the validity of my study results. Data will be collected to establish baselines and to track progress. I will collect and evaluate all the data myself. The first tool I'll use to collect data is a survey. All the teachers in the school will be asked to take the survey. It will have a total of 15 questions, and the goal will be to gather information about how teachers are currently using the library and their perceptions of the library. The next tool I'll use is a data collection checklist. I will collect daily information in all the variety of categories from Facebook. To make sure I collect and use reliable data, I have established definitions for each category. This means that I should collect the same data every time, providing less opportunity for mistakes. Some of the more interesting definitions: information requests includes posts that ask for information not directly related to academic pursuits. Academic assistance requests are those related to schoolwork, except research. Search and database assistance requests are the ones that are related to research, either using databases or general internet searching. So, those definitions will help make sure that each time I go to collect the data, I collect it in the proper place so it can be tracked correctly. The last tool I'll use is the interview, and I'll interview a random sampling of teachers in the school. There are 8 total questions. The goal of these questions are again to track perception of the Media Center and to find out how it's being used. The interview should take no longer than 20 minutes apiece, and it contains open and closed-ended questions and time for follow-up questions if necessary. When the data collection is finished and analyzing is done, then what? We share. We share it in a variety of ways. Because it's action research, because it's directly related to my organization, one of the first places that I'd probably share it is going to be a faculty meeting. Also, for all those stakeholders who have been part of the process all along, teachers, students, those folks who participated in surveys, who were interviewed, those are all people who are going to be interested. So I'll use blogging, other internet mechanisms, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all of those different ways to put together something to share with them exactly what we found out so that everyone can be aware and can be a part of the results of what they were all participating in. Operation Virtual Reference Project seeks to determine if providing virtual access to reference services through the popular platform Facebook will cause patrons to revive their understanding of how important access to a good library and librarians are for solving problems. A successful outcome would be data to show that students use the online resources, that show increased use of the library for academic pursuits, and for the teachers to use the library and online resources more often. Finding a way to engage students and encourage them to seek assistance is an important step in the journey for student achievement. A successful outcome on this project will not only get more students using the tools they need to succeed, but will provide all students with increased access to those tools and human resources. I look forward to having more information to share with you on Operation Virtual Reference.